Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to JoyNews Today. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We're on DTT because we're free to. We're on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, 49 protesters in the Julobi House protest who were arrested yesterday by the Ghana Police Service released.
It's official. Is that too much to ask? So this is why we are here. And in every situation, in every country where power is abusive, citizens must show up to stare down power. So we are standing here to stare down power.
We have details as protesters mass up at the 37 lorry station to continue with the protest. We will go live to that location. Also this afternoon, we'll head to the EC headquarters where a similar protest is building up. Plus, former Auditor General Daniel Domelevo suggests the setting up of independent prosecutorial body to prosecute corruption cases instead of leaving it in the hands of the Attorney General. We're also live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X via JoyNews on TV. My personal handle is @Nana-Aisha. Let's take you live to where the protesters have massed up, the 37 lorry station where the Julobi, Occupy Julobi House demonstration is underway.
Live and we receive the blessings of prosperity. This is why we are here today. So show up as you are here, engage with each other, find out about each other, learn from each other, build solidarity, because we have no one but ourselves. We have no one but ourselves. And today we are showing history, and we are making history together. We have shown that even when the voices of violence are loud, we will still show up, because this is our democracy. Choboy, thank
democracy. You. That is the lead campaigner.
So by now you know that the protesters are back at the 37 lorry station organizing and continuing with their protest that started yesterday. Now we know 49 protesters who were arrested by the Ghana Police Service in the protest have been released from detention. We'll go to the lorry station, the 37 lorry station where the protesters are continuing for more of the interaction there. But we had with, this is an interaction we had with one of the leading members of the protest earlier, Oliver Bakavomao.
Other things. The one I am taking particular offense is that all of us were taken to the Accra Regional, Greater Accra Regional Command, put into a room, and 17 individuals, plainclothes individuals, who were wearing all kinds of earrings, who had dyed their hair in all kinds of different manners. Others dressed in shorts and boxer shorts were thrown into the room and locked on us, and they proceeded to beat us. I do not understand how these individuals who were calling themselves intelligence officers were brought in to beat us. That has to be explained to me. So all the PR and all the crying before committees of parliament, that PR that sustained the police service, we must break that PR down. And for me, this is one of the things I have to say. The Ghana Police Service is less than 40,000 men across board. And these 40,000 people go to training. We train them at public expense. If we cannot ensure discipline with 40,000 people, we have failed the entire country. That is where leadership must be shown at. And this is what we are asking for.
You said earlier on, you said Kennedy said over his dead body, would you be allowed to protest in the country? Yes,
Ken Dapao, who is Minister of National Security, has made it clear to me that over his dead body, we're going to be allowed to protest. And it's not surprising to me that a few months later, I was charged and I'm being tried for treason. I think that this government has every intention, and they mean their words, that they are going to depress and going to make sure that they make an example out of me. But we're going to continue to fight. And whatever they want to do, they can continue to do it. But we must show up, because when abuse of power is loudest, citizens must speak up even more. That's why we are here.
And the words as far as offering you 1 million to back down.
They went as far as offering us $1 million. They offered us a committee, to set up a committee and appoint us to government positions in order to stop this activism. This was made directly to me and other leaders of Fix the Country. This will be refused. Now, this conversation was had at the time with the National Minister of National Security, the Minister of Finance, and a Brigadier General of the Ghana Armed Forces at the Safe House cantonment. These are information that are verifiable. We recorded that conversation. If people recall,
do you say those are the people who are making the offer? The
people who made the offer on that day. If people will recall, when I came out of jail, I had made an announcement that I was going to disclose the details of a secret meeting that had taken place and some of the things that were said to us. And later I had received several calls from people in this country and refused to disclose those. This information is not something I'm lying about. I can release to you information and calls that the Minister of National Security himself called me while I was in the UK, inviting me to come down to Ghana and at public expense. And I rejected it and paid for my own ticket and flew down to Ghana. And so for me, I know and I've always known that, and there's nothing that I'm saying here that will surprise anybody or shock anybody, that we know that they have taken every kind of attempt through monetary compulsions, through violence in order to stop what we are doing. But we'll continue to build. And we are demanding that if citizens really cherish this democracy and are interested in the future of this country, then they'll show up and stare down power.
Would you say, and I'm interested in the treatment you have described. Does that suggest that you are taking the Ghana Police Service on?
Well, for us, we are showing up today. To remind everybody, when I was first arrested at the airport, I was tortured by individuals who were wearing armed forces fatigue and thrown and blindfolded and taken out of Accra. We sued the Ghana Police Service and Attorney General and the Tema High Court. The individual judge before whom we sued, that Ankoma, has been promoted to the Court of Appeal. That case has not gone anywhere for over a year. In their response to the application we filed, the Ghana Police Service admitted planting an individual who was furnished with a phone, a knife, and bread in the cells. These are all public record. The Fourth Estate has reported on this. Nothing has happened there.
Another leading member of the group, Bernard Mornah, says the Ghana Police Service did not act fairly and professionally in the way they handled the Occupy Julobi protest. He indicates that at worst, the protesters will retaliate when treated unfairly today.
Bill was Justice for Ghana at the Electoral Commission headquarters.
Yes, but they are not mutually exclusive. These are actions that afflict each one of us. And so I have been doing a series of media engagement. As you can see, I'm not costumed for the protest. And so when I leave here, we are to have a meeting with the IGP upon what happened yesterday.
Say you, which group?
That is Democracy Hub, led by Akuf-Addo. They yesterday were arrested unjustly. And so later in the evening, the Inspector General of Police called. And he actually called me, and I told him that despite that I am not an organizer of the Democracy Hub, I sympathize with the cause. I agree in total with whatever they are doing. I was to join them later in the day because in the morning I had spoken to Akuf-Addo to even alert him about the police presence around the Jubilee House and around the 37 station. And whilst they were coming here, I was at the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, only to be told that they were arrested. So I went looking for them in their various cells, and eventually I got to know where each one of them was put. Later in the evening, when the Inspector General of Police called, he said that he was going to instruct for the release of all those people. And indeed, in the evening, everyone was released. This morning, they are gathered here. It is the IGP's call that he wanted to meet with some of the organizers. So they will select a few to go and meet with the IGP. And then we'll see what the IGP himself has, because his men did what was untoward yesterday. We cannot tolerate such happenings from our police service. Look, it's a police service and not a force. So when they decide to use force against innocent citizens, standing here, what disruptions are this crowd occasioned? They have not done anything. Yesterday, your own colleagues were brutalized. And you ask yourself, what is it? If the police doesn't have the logistics to protect the crowd, but they have logistics to disrupt the crowd and to arrest them, how much they spent yesterday engaging in that exercise is unacceptable. And I think that, well, once the IGP has called, there is a saying in our local parlance that You don't reject a call, but you can reject the content of the call. So I think that it's fair and proper that we have that discussion, and then we can take it up. But citizens' right cannot, and we will not allow any oppressor to undermine our democratic efforts.
Just a few minutes ago, before you arrived, we engaged with Oliver, and he is of the view that he's got no engagement with the police. And I mean, I'm just interested if you've been able to reach a consensus with him, and he agrees that you should go ahead to meet the IGP.
Oh, no, yesterday I was one of the people who had to go around to ensure that all those our comrades who were incarcerated were unjustly were released. And so I think if Oliver cannot go, that is a right. But some ones of them should let us go and listen to the call.
When is the meeting happening?
Oh, anytime that we are able to arrive at the number of people that we can go. So I've spoken to Oliver. He is not opposed to people representing him, but I think that he wants to be here to continue to be the fulcrum around which this mobilization can take place, and I cannot take that from him.
Are you going as a group of protesters, or you are going as conveners?
Well, it will be partly conveners, because there must be a convener, and then they will come back. Whatever the outcome, we will let the society know.
So you are hopeful that today, are you just going to be stationed here, or you are hopeful to to go on a procession to the Jubilee House?
Even staying here alone is sufficient to send the message. You are here, isn't it? The fact that you are here and you are carrying the report of the unhappiness of citizens about the shoddy things that are happening in Ghana. Journalists, your own colleagues were beaten yesterday. The police are denying it. Right? Bridget Otu, they torn her cloth. Somebody had to give the Ghana flag that he was carrying to order to protect her body from exposure. One of your colleagues from City FM working with BBC was assaulted mercilessly. A lawyer who had come and seek the release of clients was pushed into cells. This is not what we bargained for. This is not what we bargained for. Akuf-Addo is only president of Ghana today. Akuf-Addo will go. But this country of us, we will be living here with Akuf-Addo and his children. Right? When Akuf-Addo ceases to be president, we, the young people, will live with Akuf-Addo's children. I can assure you, as I said somewhere, any policeman that brutalizes citizens today, we will identify your children and your family, we will brutalize them tomorrow.
I'm not sure if the brutalization will be lawful, but what do you say to what
lawful brutalization?
And the law would require you to take a civil position on that.
Let's head to 37 Lorry Station, where the protesters have massed up to continue with their demonstration. My colleague Maxwell Agbagba is there for us. He'll be joining us with updates. But if you care to know, 49 people have so far been released. Those who were picked by the police have been released. But the protesters say they will continue with their protest. Remember, it's a 3-day demonstration. Maxwell Agbagba joins us with some updates. Maxwell, bring us up to speed as to what is happening there right now.
Well, so this is the road right in front of the 37 Military Hospital. What you can see on one side, what you can see on one side are the protesters who say they want to move to the Jubilee House. On the other side, you can see police officers in Riyadh's control gear, all of them holding their shields. Now, what happened was that the protesters were able to move from the 37 Trotro station, where they moved to this point to the road in front of the 37 Military Hospital, where they were barricaded. And then we had more people coming. Some minutes ago, we had some of the associations who can still. You can see all of them holding to. Another interesting thing that we see also is the body cam. You can see on the chest of that officer, a body camera there. And the gentleman in the white clothes, in the white shirt, is the one taking pictures of the police officers, all of them who have the body cam. And my sources within the Ghana Police Service tell you that this is.
yesterday, there were allegations of brutality against some of the protesters. 2 body cams are supposed, to help so that the media can be able to see attacks, abuse, and attacks, here during the protest. 2 body cams will be able to provide some kind of evidence,
We'll definitely take you back there and listen to what Maxwell Agbagba has to tell us from the demonstration grounds at the 37 lorry station. But of course, you could see heavy presence of police guarding the protests. That will definitely take you back when we get a clear feed. But let's take a break right now on Joy News Today. When we return, there is more. Welcome back to Joy News Today. To the rest of our stories, and former Auditor General Daniel Domelevo has suggested the setting up of an independent prosecutorial body to prosecute corruption cases instead of leaving it in the hands of Attorney General, who he alleges is a member of government and is unable to prosecute his own. Addressing an anti-corruption forum held at the forecourt of the Asogli Palace in conjunction with this year's Asogli Yam Festival and the 20th anniversary celebration of the Agbogbo-Mefia Togwe-Apede, Mr. Domelevo stated there is a dire need to amend the law to give truly independent persons and bodies the authority to investigate.
Independence, Ghana was started as ahead of Singapore and Malaysia, etc. Go there and now and see. You will regret it as a Ghanaian. This dismal performance are celebrated by our shameless leaders. They want us to hail them for this mediocre performance. I don't think we can accept this.
And the former Auditor General also has described corruption as the deadliest disease that has ever visited Ghana. Mr. Domelevo made the comment during the Anti-Corruption Day celebration held in Ho.
This now, if you are a friend of the government, then you can do anything. And you can be sure that you will get away with it. But if we do that, then no one is safe, isn't it? Because once I'm taking my enemy to, my enemies are also taking me to the place. So we all have to be careful. So I call for commercialization of the fight against corruption. We should amend the law just as we were able to amend Article 88 to get OSP out of it. The same way we should also do and get individuals the authority to be able to, maybe they may go through some recognition like licensing or registration, and they can set up a committee or a team or a firm that will investigate corruption so that immediately the Auditor General comes out with his report, they start going through, and then they list their candidates, investigate, and then go and collect the money. They will make something for themselves. However, a greater portion comes back to the state.
The Ministry of Health says it will provide the needed infrastructure at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital to enable the hospital to continue offering quality and accessible health care to the public. Speaking at a grand debate to mark the 25th anniversary celebration of the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, Deputy Health Minister Tina Mensah assured government is committed to providing quality and affordable health care.
The Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, known as in Tibetan, has silently served as a guardian of health for a quarter of a century. 25 years ago, the foundations of the facility were laid. The vision was simple yet profound: to bring accessible, quality health care to the people of Cape Coast and beyond. Deputy Minister of Health Tina Mensah says the government is committed to supporting Ghana's healthcare system.
The government will continue to put in place measures and strategies to address these challenges. 25 years in the life of this facility is worth celebrating because it gives one an opportunity and a reason to reflect on activities over the past years as well as refocus on interventions essential in sustaining or always ensuring excellence. I am reliably informed that this hospital has constantly scored excellent in periodic hospital peer reviews. Please keep it up.
Central Regional Minister Justina Marigodasan was upbeat about the infrastructural and equipment support the government was offering to the hospital.
For instance, in furtherance to improving the management of infectious diseases and future pandemics, the government, in collaboration with the World Bank, have constructed a number of infectious disease centers across the country for which the central region was not left out. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the priority of His Excellency, the President, Nana Addo Akuf-Addo, to ensure that all people living in the country receive the best of health care. Hospitals across the country have been retooled with the needed equipment to enhance service delivery. In fact, it is gratifying to note that now the no-bed syndrome, which used to be a major setback in the health sector, has been adequately dealt with, owing to strategic management and government of Ghana's health care initiatives and programs across the country. One major stride by His Excellency the President to improve health infrastructure across the country is the Agenda 111 project. Here in the Central Region, 8 of these projects is ongoing.
Chief Executive Officer of the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, Dr. Eric Kofi-Njedu, says the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital's journey has been a remarkable one. He says it's been more than just a hospital. It's a beacon of hope, a symbol of resilience, and a testament to the power of collective determination. He indicates in spite of the challenges the hospital has been grappling with, it has brought smiles to the faces of many patients.
Today I wish to inform you that all these challenges have received major attention from the board and management, and progress has been made. Nana Chairman, the hospital is currently implementing its second 5-year medium-term strategic plan that spans between 2021 and 2025. Consequently, the continuous referencing of this document in our annual planning process and with the guidance of the board, there has been consistent improvement in the service delivery in general of the hospital. There has also been expansion in the area of collaboration, infrastructure, equipment, and human resource mix. However, there are still gaps to be filled to ensure CCTH operates fully as a teaching hospital, and we will continue to work assiduously to bridge these gaps to achieve the vision of the hospital. Nana Chairman, our appeal. Moving into the future, we will continue to appeal to Government of Ghana, corporate Ghana for the replacement of obsolete and aged critical equipment, as well as the provision of the needed equipment and infrastructure to help improve on our services.
As the hospital embarks on its next 25 years, there is a renewed hope and commitment that the heart of healing will continue to be strong, shaping the future of healthcare in Cape Coast and beyond. Richard Kwejenyako for Joy News.
NDC Vice Presidential candidate for the 2020 general elections, Professor Nana Opoku-Agyemang, is dispelling rumors that former President John Mahama may be in search for a new party stalwart to partner him to run for the next general elections in 2024. Former Chief of Staff Julius Deborah and current Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Sam Jonah, are among those rumored on social media in recent times to partner the NDC presidential candidate John Mahama for the next elections. However, speaking on the sidelines of the Maiden Nkrumah Mandela Leadership Conference organized at the Great Hall of the University of Ghana in Accra, Professor Nana Opoku-Agyemang described the latest jostling as wasteful and unnecessary.
We've had leaders in our communities. We've had leaders in our homes. We have leaders in the market. What's our excuse? Are we now going to search, for somebody with a third eye? We know what it takes. We know those who sacrificed. We know those who gave of themselves. We know those who gave without looking for reward. Who is stopping us from emulating them? You see, in life, I don't think it's about, in 1 year I get everything. It doesn't work like that. You'll be frustrated. Or you may do things that you'll be embarrassed if they were to come in public. Okay, because it doesn't work like that. Okay, it's one step at a time.
Prof, we are looking at two great leaders, Nkrumah and Mandela, at this leadership conference. John Dramani Mahama is being likened to our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Do you feel that he possesses that kind of leadership quality?
It's not about that kind of comparison. What I respect about him is that he has a good heart. He cares. Otherwise, you see, for how long was he here? How many schools did he build? You answer me. How many hospitals? We have had the polytechnics forever. Do you know what it took to turn it into a technical university? Building 2 universities. I'm talking only of my sector. Building 2 harbors, building a new airport. Why don't you have the same now?
Ghana, as we know, is in search for a new leader. Going into the 2024 elections, are you available to serve as the running mate to John Dramani Mahama going into the 2024 elections?
I was in the ministry and I complimented his effort. Or I wasn't. Where? So are you posing that question?
we all know the controversies out there. Well, there's a lot of controversies out there about it.
Oh, forget about this. Use this unhelpful. What controversy? There's no controversy. The only controversy we need to talk about is the unemployment of our youth.
But
that is the controversy that should bother us. We are just having distractions. It's about all the scandals going on. Why is that not controversial? And you are worried about what controversy? It's just a distraction. We'll see when I get there.
Should we expect a new John Mahama?
Okay, thank you too much.
What he did.
Ghana has made another significant stride in the deployment and use of cutting-edge technology, and that guarantees a more sustainable and environmentally sound exploration and exploitation of its natural resources, with the commissioning of the Intertech Minerals Photon Assay Laboratory in Takwa in the Western region. Deputy Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, who launched the project, said the innovation in the mining industry plays a critical role and serves as a tool which will improve the efficiency, reduce costs, and also meets the increasing social and environmental concerns in our communities.
Intertech Minerals, driving innovation and technology through the mineral supply chain, has announced the integration of advanced photon assay technology into its laboratory to elevate gold industry support in West Africa. The Deputy Minister of Lands and Natural Resources in charge of mining, George Mrikuduka, said the mining industry is going through a digital transformation process which is already impacting the industry and will continue to do so, and the process could change how mining is done, transition from human-run operation to autonomous or semi-autonomous remote control mines.
The mining industry is going through a digital transformation process, which is already impacting the industry and will continue to do so. This process could change how mining is done, transition from human-run operations to autonomous and semi-autonomous remote controlled mines. A functional mining industry, therefore, requires an equally functional assay laboratory service at all stages of the mineral value chain for resource estimation or optimization studies to mine site rehabilitation after closure. Ladies and gentlemen, because of the potential capital-intensive and risky nature of the mining industry, optimization costs, control, innovation, and resilience are required as pillars of mining development strategies along its entire value chain.
The Acting Director General of the Ghana Geological Service Authority, Isaac Kutan Winbell, assures Intertech Minerals and all other laboratories in the mining value chain of the authority's continued support in issuance of geological sample permits for country inbound and outgoing geological materials for the purpose of laboratory analysis.
As technology advances, instrumentation role in mineral exploration will become even more critical in identifying and extracting valuable minerals. The authority would like to assure Intertech and all other stakeholders in the mining value chain of its continuous support in the issuance of geological sample permits for countries inbound and outgoing geological materials for analysis.
Only 5 banks scored above the threshold of 98% in relation to the customer satisfaction. This is what we're bringing you in the business sector shortly.
Hi, good afternoon. This is the business segment on JoyNews Today with me, Pius Kojobaka. Only 5 banks scored above the threshold of 98% in relation to customer satisfaction. More in this report.
Absa Bank and First Atlantic Bank followed with 97.8, 97.5 and 96.2 respectively. CBG Bank, Zenith Bank, GCB Bank, Bank of Africa and SG Bank had the least score by customers. Overall customer satisfaction for remote banking was 88%.
The index for this year went out by 3 points. For 2021, we are an index of 95. For 2022, the index went up by 3%, which is 98. However, for 2021, only 2 banks met the threshold. For this year, we've seen an improvement where 5 banks met the threshold, although the index went out by 98, went up by 3 digits, which is 98%.
President for the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, Dr. Daniel Kasati, called for a more robust financial sector through customer satisfaction.
Consumers of this report, particularly the banks, must learn how to put the results to be announced tonight to good and prudent use. They should first look beyond the positions on the various tables to identify how they fared for each of the 5 dimensions of service quality, overall customer satisfaction, and either of the 2 dimensions of customer loyalty. They should indeed juxtapose their performance in each area to the customer's indication of how important that particular dimension was or is to them.
Chief Executive Officer for the Ghana Association of Banks, John Ewa, urged members to be heavy on improving customer service.
Of course, the environmentals also play a role in this surveys. So we take the positives out of it and also learn from the areas where we had more or less a message of room for improvement. As an industry, we take customer satisfaction very seriously. So I'm sure our member banks will take their version of the report, go to their various banking infrastructure and digest the outcome and see the areas where improvement is needed and even where they did well to see how they can even improve it much better in the years ahead.
Total customer loyalty measure for 2022 was 81%. For Joy Business, James is.
The first phase of the Volta Green City project has been launched in the Volta region. Now, the project named the Volta Green City will provide decent accommodation and recreational centers to the residents and beyond, while also improving the economic activities of the area. Ivy Setoji reports.
In a welcome address, the chief of Mafi Amfor
Kabitra Abutaka noted that development in the communities helps improve their lives positively, hence the urgent need for every community to have the needed development they rightly deserve.
This development must be about people and places in peaceful and comfortable environments.
He noted that the community and Mafi Amfoy has lots of land for the establishment of modern settlements like the proposed Volta Green City and industries to create jobs for the teeming youths.
May I therefore welcome you all to Mafi Amfoy. The environment is calm, the air is fresh, the people in the area are united and lovely. We have expanse of land for the establishment of modern settlements such as Volta Green City and industries to create jobs for the teeming youth.
The CEO of the project, Ni Okai Pabe, noted that the project would bring affordable housing units for the people, a complete community on its own with modern facilities and commercial enterprises that has everything.
This community, we call it Volta Green City, will feature, among other things, a free zone, a wide variety of home builders, home styles, and options at all price points. It will also have its own commercial enterprises, such as stores, restaurants, and schools, all creating a vibrant and dynamic environment.
Thomas Moore Achu Zunra is the DCE for Central Town.
An investor is coming to this district to do no other business than to build a city, Volta Green City. This is the first of its kind in my district.
And that'll be all for business for now. I am Pius Kojobaka. I will be back at 1 p.m. with the Marketplace. Sports is next.
Time for us to get into the world of show business. And on Wednesday evening at the Soho Night Lounge, KOD launched the 2023 edition of Rhythms on the Runway, which he has been doing for some time now. And he has themed this year's on the Aqua Edition. So I wanted to find out what the Aqua Edition actually meant or what he was driving at. But this was his reason, that he's driving attention for us human beings to be able to take care of this beautiful earth that God has given us. Take a listen to this.
Contemplating what it's going to be like. But for us, essentially, we want to communicate the awareness of taking care of this beautiful planet that God gave us. Look at the weather lately. One of the reasons we're indoors is because it's raining. You can't even tell when it won't rain. You know, you can't tell. Yeah, so it's something that we have to be intentional about. We have to be intentional about protecting this beautiful earth, that planet that God gave us. Last year we did the Green Edition, very conscious of also intentionally protecting the vegetation that we have. And because it's become a Pan-African and a global event now, we know that we're having that conversation in Ghana. This is a very special place on earth. You know, we're in the center of the earth. So if the conversation starts here, there's a ripple effect. It goes to the rest of the universe.
So it started as a family and friends thing. It started as just putting a few people together. Yes. At what point in time did it change, and what is the purpose now?
I think it changed after the third edition. We did the first one at the Old Twist nightclub. Then we went to Citizen Coffee. Yes, I know. Yeah. Then we went to Golden Tulip, and that's when it started expanding. That's when we started having, you know, other people who had seen it. Social media also played a very pivotal role because they see it on social media. It's everywhere in the world, you know. So people see it, they inbox you, they DM you. Some of them I don't know them from anywhere. Same, we have some people coming from Tunisia this year. Some people are coming from the States for rhythms. There's a musician coming all the way from Swaziland. We don't know them from anywhere. You know, they inbox us. We've seen what you're doing in Ghana. It's been on the BBC, it's been on Deutsche Welle, you know, all these stations, and we want to be part of it. And like, yeah,
well, that was Coyote, who owns the brand 1957, who are the event organizers for Rhythms of the Runway, which is happening on the 2nd of December 2023. Now, I was privileged to talk to some designers who have been on the show, and it's possible they are going to be on the show. If Rhythms on the Runway has actually brought any value to them and to the whole Ghanaian fashion space at all. Well, I had the chance to talk to J. Ray and Abrantia, the gentlemen. This is what they had to say.
I think it has at least helped us keep originality, because it's more like typically Ghanaian. It's something that is done for Ghanaians by a Ghanaian, and it's like typically Ghanaian. I don't know if you get my point. Yeah, but
Ghana to the world.
It makes you feel at home. It doesn't have so much of any other influence, but it's like original.
It has kept the designers up their toes and trying to keep the standard. Because for some time now, there have not been probably good fashion shows in Ghana. And Rhythms, I would say, is one of the best, if not the best, fashion show currently in Ghana.
So you heard from J.V. and Abrantia, gentlemen. But wrapping up, the All Men Talk Show is back with the 4th edition, for the 4th season. And tonight is the 4th premiere, or the season premiere. And the interesting topic that they're having on the discourse today. So the topic they're having on, which you don't have to miss on Joy Prime, is, will you ever want to hear the sound of sex toys from your partner? Will you ever want to hear that? So it's 9 p.m. on tonight, and there's a repeat at 9:30. So make sure you are cutting it and you are getting to watch it. Well, that is what will bring the curtain down on the showbiz segment. Aisha?
You should be offended if your woman is using sex toys.
Okay, so that is what we are.
That means you're
not
there's
performing?
a question mark.
There's a question mark.
That's how we wrap up the bulletin this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.